Good morning, everybody. That was quite a song to get us going, so everybody's all jazzed up. It's great. I'm the Reverend Jim Coakley, he, him. Welcome to United Unitarian Universalist Congregation. I want to start off by a big thank you to everybody who's collaborated to put the service on today, who are helping out with the fellowship hour downstairs, and the helpers that we've got going on in RE. So a lot of people to help put this all together. If you're checking us out either in person or out online, we're so glad you found us. If you are here in person, please fill out a visitor card and put it in the offering plate later so that we can get to know you better. And if you're out online, just find our email on the website and let us know who you are. Finally, of course, please double check your phones, make sure they're silenced. And with that, let's move into our service with our chalice lighting. There we go. Please join me with the words on the screen and in your order of service. May this flame kindle within us the warmth of compassion, the glow of love, the fire of commitment, and the light of truth. Here together we scatter seeds of spirit, service, and community. My call to gather today is from the Reverend David Breeden, and the last time I chose one from him, someone reminded me that he's a former minister of this congregation. So, small world, here we are. This one's titled, We Unite in Our Differences. We unite in our differences in background and belief. We unite with gratitude and hope. Hope for a world of differences. Hope for a world that honors difference. We unite in community with gratitude for difference. I chose a gathering song this morning that actually is one of my favorites. If you want to read along in the music, it's in the Teal hymnal. It's number 1000, but I'll have the words up on the screen the whole time. It's Morning Has Come, so please rise and sing it in full voice as you can. So I have a short, not so short, but a beautiful picture book here called Finding Grateful. And so this whole month, the kids as well as the adults were talking about nurturing gratitude in November. And this week, the book is all about nurturing gratitude for the small things in life. It's written by Diane White and illustrations by Faith Prey. And I don't see any kids here, so I'm going to do it right from up here. Or you want to come up? Or just, see, I didn't think so. Or young people at heart. Anyway, here we go. And basically, the story is that this little girl, and I love this, children always have a different perspective than adults. And so because the little girl, compared to her mom, is about this tall, she sees things that adults, we kind of take for granted or don't normally see. So here's the first one. Mama says you don't need a map to find grateful. It's as easy as walking in the middle of any time, any place. Grateful means noticing this thing, that thing, anything, really. Mama says, be where your feet are. That means pay attention. We go where the sidewalk leads past to the tall house, the one with the wide porch. A woman waves and we wave back. I wonder, can grateful be a smile? Down the block, the sprinkler whirs. I tiptoe, lean, and let drops land on my tongue. Maybe grateful is a cold spray on a hot day. I stand tree still, close my eyes, and breathe in honeysuckle, newly cut grass, and burgers on the grill. Below, my toes wiggle until I finally free them. Above, a plane hums. I watch it fly away and beyond. At the park, a puppy finds me, sniffs my hand, tickles my feet. Can toes be grateful? What about a puppy? Soon we are wags and barks and noisy fun. We run and run until I trip and fall. My knees sting. My elbow hurts. Grateful can't be here. I try not to cry, but I do. Mama sits beside me and we are quiet. Can grateful be a hug? Oops. There we go. I dust off, slip on shoes, and soon we are walking. We turn left instead of right. Here, 2 dandelions push through a crack. There, purple flowers sweeten the air. All around, buzzing, chirping, and the jingly sound of ice cream. Mama puts coins in my hand. I choose a rainbow and lick one bright color at a time. Perhaps it's because a bunny stops to listen, tiny nose twitching. Perhaps it's because a yellow bird sings her cheerful song. Perhaps it's because there, right there, a spider weaves her silky web. Maybe it's all of this that makes my heart as light as the sun on a white cloud day. And then I find it grateful. Mama says any day can be beautiful, but I'm grateful for this day, today, right here, where my feet are. And so let's sing to the children. We're not going to sing them out because they're here, but, well, one is. Let's sing.
Guide your journey.
I have a reading for you today from the author Gunilla Norris, whom I had never heard of, and I assume you probably haven't either, so let me tell you a little bit about her. Norris is the daughter of Swedish diplomats and grew up in Sweden, Argentina, and the United States, so all over the place, basically. She's written 11 children's books, 2 books of poetry, and 6 books on spirituality. So what makes her unique is that she calls it household spirituality, or the practice of spiritual awareness in the most mundane and simple of circumstances. So she could have written the book that I just read to you, but today I'm actually picking a little bit of a writing poem, I guess you would say, called The Paradox of Noise. It is a paradox that we encounter so much internal noise when we first try to sit in silence. It's a paradox that experiencing pain releases pain. It's a paradox that keeping still can lead us so fully into life and being. Our minds do not like paradoxes. We want things to be clear so we can maintain our illusions of safety. Certainty breeds tremendous smugness. However, we each possess a deeper level of being which loves paradox. It knows that summer is already growing like a seed in the depth of winter. It knows that the moment we are born, we begin to die. It knows that all of life shimmers in shades of becoming, that shadow and light are always together, the visible mingled with the invisible. When we sit in stillness, we are profoundly active. Keeping silent, we hear the roar of existence. Through our willingness to be the one we are, we become one with everything. Nurturing our gratitude for pluralism. So a few weeks ago, I think about 3 weeks ago, I was beginning to think how I was going to create this service. What should I title it? How should I work on this nurturing gratitude that's the Soul Matters theme for the month? And I wanted to do more than the usual list at Thanksgiving time where we're asked to recount all the things we're thankful for in the year, and we just kind of compile a list and away we go, but go deeper on certain subjects. Well, somebody handed me a potential book for the Time for All Ages, another one of these picture books. And this one was about voting and democracy, or it was about democracy, but particularly voting. And about a third of the way through, it was in a classroom, and the teacher was talking about why voting was important and how it's been part of our country for 250 years. And I was thinking, wow, this is kind of heady stuff for a picture book for a little kid. I'm not quite sure I understand what this is about, but I kept with it. And then eventually, like I said, about halfway through, it turns out that it's in the classroom, and the class gets to vote. And they were going to get to vote on what their trip was going to be at the year end, the field trip that was going to happen. And they had 2 choices they had to choose from: a tour of a cookie factory or the nature preserve. Okay? So I'm reading on, I flip the page, and the teacher announces that the vote is tied at that moment, and she has 1 vote left. I'm like, oh my God, the teacher's going to stack the deck. She wanted to go to the nature preserve all along, and that's what that vote's going to be. I just know it. And then I thought, get a grip, Jim. This is a picture book for little kids. And then I realized, oh my Lord, this is just part of the society I live in, where voting in the media, it's touted to be unfair, and now they're gerrymandering and yada, 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 that I'm reading a kid's book, and that's the first place I went. Turns out there's an uneven number of kids in the class, and that was the last one, and they go to the nature center, and everybody has a really good time. But it made me stop and think for a moment. I mean, obviously, fair voting is an essential part in a functioning democracy. And democracy, with all its troubles that we have from time to time, is the best system we know of to maintain a pluralistic society. I mean, if you think about it, we do many, many, many things in our lives, but usually they are with the group of people that we happen to be with. We all shop at the same grocery store, but there's another grocery store on the other side of town for other people and that kind of thing. Voting is the one thing that in this country everyone adult has the right to do, and hopefully it happens. So it's about the most pluralistic thing I can think of. So I chose my title, Nurturing Gratitude for Pluralism, for this reason. Because I thought in my lifetime, I've just taken this pluralism for granted, that we live in a democracy, that one party will be in power, then the other one. Things will change, things will move along slowly, but they will move along. But we can always count on that this country has tried to be a pluralistic society. I'm very well aware of our history, that it wasn't always for everybody in the equal way, but we've tried. And then at the same time, when I was working on this, that weekend was the No Kings rally. And I thought, okay, that's a good example. It's demonstrating against autocratic rule, which to my knowledge, I don't think we've ever done in this country before, or not since the Boston Tea Party probably, which essentially means that one person representing a very specific segment of society gets to have everything their way. And if you think about it, maybe in its extreme form, Stalinist Russia, or in China where everything else was outlawed, pluralism completely ceases to exist. So today, I want us to consider what it means to nurture a deeper gratitude for pluralism, specifically our mostly functioning democracy. Well, pluralism, why am I stuck on this word pluralism? I'm not sure if you're aware, but the new 6 shared values that the UUA voted on in 2 general assemblies, pluralism is one of them. Now, a lot of you probably have to memory the 7 principles, and I know the quilts around the room are all focused on that. And in the 7 principles, there always was that we believed in democracy and the right of democracy. Well, that's still in there, but it kind of bubbled up to a higher value of pluralism that's in the new shared values. So let me read the statement. It says, "We celebrate that we are all sacred beings, diverse in culture, experience, and theology." Now, remember, we don't have a creed. Unitarian Universalists don't have a creed that you have to believe in to join here, but we do have shared values. Now, interestingly, these are in our bylaws for the Unitarian Universalist Association, because it's something that we agreed to democratically, and bylaws are a way that all of us, especially each congregation that's in an association, can say, okay, yes, this is what we share in values, this is how we should live it out in the way we want to do it in this congregation. It's also how the outside world looks in at us. You read an organization's bylaws, their mission, vision statement, bylaws, to understand who they are, what they stand for. So, we celebrate that we are all sacred beings, diverse in culture, experience, and theology. Well, it never dawned on me, there's a couple of we's in there. And I wanted to make sure I understood what these pronouns are referring to. So the first one, we celebrate. Well, clearly that's us, right? Unitarian Universalists, we voted on this. It's telling the world we celebrate this idea of pluralism. But the second we are all sacred beings, diverse in culture, experience, and theology. Does that mean just us in the room here? Because I'm like, yes, you are all sacred beings. I feel like I'm a sacred being. We have the divine in each of us. And we strive to be diverse in culture. Unfortunately, our congregations aren't as diverse as we would like to celebrate, especially the smaller ones. We do have differences in experiences coming here, and absolutely we have diverse theology within a certain liberal religious framework. So I'd say yes, the we certainly includes us. But we all know that we are a people of this world. We go out into the world because we believe our values are values that should be cherished by the rest of society. So I think we would agree that this second we applies to the whole world out there. We believe that all are sacred beings. There is diverse culture and experience for sure, and there's certainly diverse theology throughout the world. So if that's what we believe, then voting in democracy is certainly part of this pluralism and includes everybody in this country. But there's a bit of a paradox with this. I called it the paradox of pluralism, and that's why I chose that reading, The Paradox of Noise. Her second paragraph there really stuck out to me when I was preparing. Our minds do not like paradoxes. We want things to be clear so we can maintain our illusions of safety. Certainty breeds tremendous smugness. Oops, UUs can be quite smug, myself included. Because I think we've put a lot of thought into it. These shared values are things that we hold dear, and we are out there in the world constantly trying to push that moral arc of the universe towards justice ever so slightly. So we believe in them strongly, and so we can get pretty smug about it, especially when we run up against people who don't agree with us. And that's the troubling paradox. Smugness does not foster pluralism. And it's made all the more evident in recent decades because of this extreme polarization that we live in. It makes, frankly, celebrating pluralism challenging, let alone nurturing gratitude for it. I found a couple of quotes, little articles I want to share with you, and each one has a very specific point near the end that I think I'd heard it before, but hearing it in this context kind of blew me away. The first one's by Samuel Cronin. I don't know if you've ever heard of Samuel Cronin. He's an essayist and author of the free Substack Alien Nation. Free Substack's like a podcast. He writes about what it means to be human and the meaning of our suffering. And this particular quote comes from one when he's talking about this polarization. Democrats and Republicans are engaging with each other less often, and we frequent separate social circles and media channels, which makes us susceptible to pigeonholing our presumed enemies and stoking the flames of discord. This phenomenon is evidenced by the growing taboo against marriage between opposing members of political parties and the fact that Democrats and Republicans are becoming less inclined to live near each other. Many people from both sides of the spectrum report finding it stressful to talk politics with someone from the other side. I don't think any of this is new to any of you, if you've been aware of what's going on the last decade, but this last one I had not heard before. Even more telling, a nationally representative study found that 20% of Republicans and 15% of Democrats say the country would be better off if large swaths of the other party just flat out died. Yeah, wow. Wow. Okay. That hit me. Then I found another quote. This is an interview with Liliana Mason by Judy Woodruff from the PBS NewsHour. It's part of Judy Woodruff Presents America at a Crossroads. Lillian Mason is a professor of political science at Johns Hopkins University and author of the book Uncivil Agreement. So it's a bit of a dialogue here. The background, before you get to this quote, they were talking about the presidency since the beginning of the country, of our democracy 250 years ago, and said that we've had times where people really didn't agree with each other, particularly the Civil War. But starting after World War II, particularly the 50s, particularly the election of Dwight D. Eisenhower, Eisenhower was a fantastically popular general from World War II, came back after the war and wanted to run for president, and honestly was open to run in either party at the time. And there was a lot of talk about that most voters at the time didn't know any difference between the two parties because they were way too similar. And a lot of pundits said that they should begin to each stand for something that was stronger and more in opposition so that it would help the voters understand what each one was about. So she's saying, okay, that's where we were in 1950-ish, and here we are, 75 years ago, and that's where this dialogue starts. Ultimately, what ended up happening is that our society changed in such a way that our parties started becoming different on their own. Not based on the policy preferences, or not only based on policy preferences, but based on what Democrats and Republicans looked like, what kind of religious services they attended, what kind of cultural television shows they watched, where they lived. And so they started really becoming different from each other in a social way, not just in a sort of a policy way. And then Judy Woodruff kind of interjects into the broadcast. Liliana Mason argues that this stacking of identities on top of one another into what she calls a mega-identity has reinforced our basic human instinct for inclusion and exclusion, and that helps explain the tribal politics we see today. And then back to Mason. Not that we have never had partisan animosity. The difference is that now, because of our sort of progress in terms of civil rights, not just for Black Americans, but for all Americans who have previously been marginalized, including women, is that we have associated the two parties with different sides of that story. Essentially, the left is now taking the position of, we want a fully egalitarian, pluralistic, multi-ethnic democracy. And when Trump has been saying, make America great again, is the definition of going back in time. And so there is this conflict between, do you want to move forward or do we want to move backward? That means, she says, every time we have an election, it is basically a status competition. Rather than it's just being our party that wins or loses, it now feels like our racial group, our religious group, our cultural group is also winning or losing. So that makes the stakes feel a lot higher to us on a psychological level. So with these two very dire assessments of our society's ability to maintain pluralism, I want us to bring us back to my challenge this month, to nurture deep gratitude for pluralism. Honestly, I think we're all going to struggle with this one. Yes, we absolutely want a fully egalitarian, pluralistic, multi-ethnic democracy. But we cannot ever have this without the part of pluralism that we can't stomach. It all comes in one big, messy package. If we're going to have deep gratitude for pluralism, be truly grateful for pluralism, and that we live in a truly pluralistic country, it means we have to stop thinking in terms of moving forward or moving backward politically or socially, at least in absolute terms. Rather, pluralism requires us to move forward or move beyond the fear of such an existential threat and recognize the humanity and struggles of our co-citizens, especially those we don't agree with. So how do we truly celebrate or nurture gratitude for pluralism if almost a third of our population would prefer the other side didn't even exist? Pluralism is important. It is. And we've got to find a way to bridge this gap. So as I thought about this, not only finding gratitude, but helping the rest of society remember pluralism, it's kind of our calling. We got to resist the temptation for smugness or panic. And frankly, we can do this because we have it in our shared values that we celebrate pluralism. And we do it at a micro scale within our congregation, so we're probably better set up to help the world understand this than anybody else. So let us engage with our society always reminding everyone that pluralism and democracy come first. We will never, ever get utopia, but because of us and our like-minded partners out there, I think we will resist autocracy by authentically celebrating pluralism. Amen. I'm not very good at the slides, am I? And to think more about pluralism, I chose our probably most pluralistic song that we have in the hymnal. It's number 170 if you're following along in the thick book. We are a gentle, angry people. It's all 6 verses, and I will give you one heads up. In the 5th verse, I changed one word. It says, in the book, we are gay and straight together, and given that gay, there's a better word for that now, it's queer. So I changed it to we are queer and straight together. I know a lot of you older folks are like, what? But queer is the umbrella of LGBTQ+ that we have today. So please rise as you're able, and let's sing this together. We are gentle, angry people. Thank you. Please be seated. All right. I need to sing or something when I walk up here, so you have time for that. Poor Aaron. Now we come to the time in our service, which I consider very sacred, where we're sharing the joys and sorrows that we have in our hearts today. We share them because we want to celebrate with everyone in their joy, and we want to hold everyone in their heart as whatever sorrow they're facing. Obviously, this is not mandatory. You can share if you're more introverted and want everybody to know what's going on. So when you come up, please state your name and pronouns if possible, and then pull a rock from the bowl on this side and place it in the water. The symbolism there is that the ripples go out to the rest of the world as you tell us what's on our heart. And Sarah asked to be first today.
Hello, I'm Sarah. I'm your treasurer, and I am glad to announce, thanks to all of you, and especially to Mike Revis, I called the bank this week and paid off our mortgage.
We're going to get bigger and better. That's what we're going to do. Anyway, come on up. That's a hard one to top. Please. It's okay. Come on.
Hi, I'm Heidi. So I have a sorrow and I have a gratitude, since we're doing gratitude this month. So my sorrow is that this marks 2 years now that my oldest son has not spoken to me. I mean, there have been a couple words, but essentially he's not speaking to me, and 2 years that I have not seen his children, my grandchildren who live in Wauwatosa, so it's not like it's too far to go, it's just that they think I am evil incarnate, and there's not much I can do about that. Anyway, that's my sorrow. My joy or my gratitude is goes especially to the women in this congregation who have just been so supportive of me. You know, some of you know I've been having some struggles lately, and, you know, people check in with me, and it just means so much. And so I am really grateful for that.
Hi, I'm Ellen. My pronouns are she and hers. I have a couple people in my life who have a lot of health issues. My older sister, Jill, just a lot of stuff going on always, and some new stuff again. And then I have a friend, Delora, who had, actually two months ago today, had a hysterectomy. And that went very well, but since then she has had all kinds of oral complications from, I'm not sure if it's when the breathing tube was put in or taken out, pain, oral surgery a couple times, so keep those ladies in your hearts. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Jim, and I'm pronouns are he and him. And is that meaningful? No. Oh, okay. Okay. I'm concerned this week because I go on trial on Friday. Some of you have been kind of following me along with this, but it's a dispute that the city of Muskego and I have. I think that writing, remember January 6th on the sidewalk with sidewalk chalk is my constitutional right to free speech. They think it's disorderly conduct. So the good thing is, you know, I'm a in the moment kind of guy. So we'll have a good time between now and the 7th. I mean, 7th. Friday is the 7th, and then we'll know after that. There'll be a judge will decide. So I just for the moment, I'm like you. I'm one of the gentle, angry people. So that's my week coming up. Did I put I'm going to put another stone in. Yeah, what the heck?
For luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh.
Oh, I need help to explain this, my purse, so to speak. And I have help. Thank you.
Whole contingent?
Yeah, a whole contingent, yeah.
You know, we got to end 11:30, folks.
Yes. Well, we, as you know, we get together for a bunco party as a auction prize, and I have won this as a Bunko Prize. So by all means, this is one of the wonderful things that can come from.
And this is one of the other wonderful things that Paul wore. And guess what? He's not wearing it, but I am.
I gave it to Susan.
I just want you all to know that we had a wonderful time at the party. We had more fun than anybody should have in one evening. It was really great. And I just want to thank Sandy and Penny, and I also want to thank you for helping out a little bit. And I missed somebody. Penny. Yes. Yeah. So we had lots of help, but it was really a great, great party.
Hi, Donna. Oh, you okay? Sorry, I figured I'd say the trip. I'm really efficient. Yeah, I'm all the way up here. Yeah. Hi, I'm Chet. I don't really feel like as far as I don't feel good enough to be I'm not a professional. I'm more like an amateur noun, not a pronoun. So it's my humor. So Sal and I found out that we are very compatible travel companions. We took a 14-day trip out west and back, but we're not compatible when it comes to walking. I like to read every plaque, and she's like, So, but we did. We traveled out west and visited some people. It was a lot of personal stuff. And then we made sure we stopped at the Spam Museum and the Jolly Green Giant and the Corn Palace. Yeah, and the birthplace of Kool-Aid. So we saw everything you could possibly see, and yet our first we knew our trip was sacred because when our first night they stayed at this hotel in downtown Sioux Falls, and we got up in the morning, and the street was blocked off because it was the Indigenous Day, and so they had the Indigenous Day parade. And we're like, well, this was a gift. And it kind of set the tone for our whole trip, because everywhere we went, it was noted that, this place used to belong to these people, and now it's these people. And the transition period was always emphasized, how that became. And so it was always kept in our minds, so it had this, kind of a plus doing all these fun things and visiting people. It's also had this concern for being more plural with people who live here already. So thank you.
Okay, so I'm Donna, and you may recall several weeks ago I told you the story about Herb's cornet. And it really touched me, and I was really sad. Anyway, White House of Music guy went over the cornet. He said it would be very expensive to refurbish this. Plus, there's a very, very small market for cornet. Therefore, come and pick it up. So I did. And then I thought, no, what am I going to do? But I had a fantastic idea that was better than the first idea. My husband was born in Niagara, Wisconsin, near Iron Mountain, Michigan. And that's where he played this instrument. It's a community of less than 2,000 people. They have an amazing little historical society. I've donated other things there. And when I reached out to 3 or 4 different ways to get hold of somebody, a woman called me that afternoon, ready to fly right through the telephone. She was so excited to have my offer of the cornet. So one night I couldn't sleep, and I thought, okay, I know there's a lot of music in the piano bench with Herb's name on. Obviously, he must have played all that war stuff and that 1940s music on it. So Thursday, I took it to the UPS store. They packaged it up. It arrived there Friday, and it has a new home, and I am as happy as can be. It's back home. I do have another story. I want to express my sympathy to Jennifer and Pam Byrigger during their very difficult time with the passing of Jennifer's brother.
Anyone else want to come up? Okay, recognizing that not everybody wants to share what's on their hearts, I'm going to put in one more stone for the unspoken joys and sorrows that we all carry with us today. And let's just take a moment of silence, centering, prayer, whatever's your tradition, and put these things into the universe. Each week we share our financial resources as well. We take up an offering to support the staff and the operation of this congregation. There are two ways to give. Let me get it up on the screen. There we go. Through the offering plate or just by scanning the the QRC code, the QR code in the order of service or up on the screen, or you can just go to uniteduc.org/giving. We are thankful to everyone who gives to this congregation, particularly those that helped give to get rid of the mortgage. So thank you very much, and the offering will now be received. The sending words that I chose for today are from Tess Baumberger, called Less Beautiful Without You. This place will be less beautiful without you. Muslim, Christian, Buddhist, Jew, Hindu, humanist, and earth-centered too. This place will be less beautiful without you. Your heart honed by hardship, grief, illness, seeking solace and comfort here among us. This place would be less beautiful without you, filled with joy and gratitude, seeking celebration of life's bounty. This place would be less beautiful without you, curious, inquisitive, asking questions, seeking transformations emerging from within. This place will be less beautiful without you, striving to resist a world that tells us we are so much less than we truly can be. This place would be less beautiful without each of us, born here in this morning to seek heaven's fire in each other's souls, our own flames rising to meet. And now I will extinguish our chalice while you're helping me with the words written on the screen and in your order of service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we meet again. And now a few announcements. One of them isn't as impactful as when I typed this on the slide. So apparently we got rid of the last remaining $2,000. So there is a celebration that's planned for the bonfire on November 20th. It would be December 20th. Sorry, little skipping months. Thank you for that. It's the solstice celebration. Social Justice Council meeting today after the service. Where is it meeting?
Maybe just the library, because
In-
you're going to be in the boardroom, right, Jennifer?
Yeah, so
The library.
in the library. And then a special cool thing is in the announcements this week, the evening with Nico Lang. Is that how you pronounce it, Aaron? Yeah. This is stories of trans youth resilience across America. So that's at the Waukesha Public Library, November 6th at 6:30. If you're interested in that, it sounds very, very cool. And with that, we will move into our postlude. I guess you can. Do you want to use the microphone so people at home can hear it, please? Come up here. I'm not sure that one's on.
Probably everybody knows all food pantries are being overwhelmed at this time, and so many more people needing food, and for some reason we're not donating quite as much. So there are a lot of drives. There'll be one in Muskego next Saturday. That's the 8th of November, from 10:30 to 11:30 along Janesville Road. It's a common place where people in Muskego meet, so you probably know where it is. So just be aware of our fellow humans who need food, just like we do.
Right near Paul, just a real follow.
Okay, come on up.
Sorry, I just wanted to let everyone know.
Okay.
Sorry. So this will come out on Tuesday. We will be having a food drive here, partly in Donna Lundine's honor for her birthday month. So there will be the big barrel out and a list of some key items to give. The other thing is we became aware that in some of the little lending libraries, like ours out here, there's like a little room to put maybe one or two small items. Like I put actually a 4-pack of toilet paper in there, which would not freeze in the bad weather, whatever. So we were also going to do that, maybe put an item or two in there, take what you can, what you need, give what you can, or whatever, on an ongoing basis. So we are trying to do that here too. So
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, both of you. Very good, very good. Now let's do the postlude.
So I chose this song. It maybe doesn't have the most on its surface message of pluralism. It's kind of very associated with like environmental conservationism kind of message to it. But I think if you dig a little bit deeper into this song, there's a very like pluralistic message woven into it. In that, if you think about what Pocahontas is sharing in this song and what like the natural world means to indigenous people, what she's really inviting in this song is to share in parts of her spirituality and her culture. And so I think that there is a pluralistic message in this song, highlighted by the beginning of the second verse that says, "You think the only people who are people are the people who look and think like you. But if you walk the footsteps of a stranger, you'll learn things you never knew. And when you think about this song in that light, the painting with all the colors of the wind really starts to take on a different meaning. you own whatever land you land on. The earth is just a dead thing you can claim. But I know every rock and tree and creature has a life, has a spirit, has a name. You think the only people who are people are the people who look and think like you. But if you walk the footsteps of a stranger, you'll learn things you never knew Have you ever heard the wolf cry to the blue corn moon, or asked the grinning bobcat why he grinned? Can you sing with all the voices of the mountain? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? Come run the hidden pine trails of the forest. Come taste the sun-sweet berries of the earth. Come roll in all the riches all around you, and for once never wonder what they're worth. The rainstorm and the river are my brothers. The heron and the otter are my friends, and we are all connected to each other in a circle, in a hoop that never ends. Have you ever heard the wolf cry to the blue corn moon, or let the eagle tell you where he's been? Can you sing with all the voices of the mountain? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? How high does the sycamore grow? If you cut it down, then you'll never know. And you'll never hear the wolf cry to the blue corn moon. For whether we are white or copper-skinned, we need to sing with all the voices of the mountain. We need to paint with all the colors of the wind. You can own the earth and still all you own is earth until you can paint with all the colors of the wind.
Thanks.